Let me break it down for you, Mark.
It has been announced that the invisible characters are coming to Fortnite. That's still a thing. As always, follow my social media accounts at It's Lilers on Instagram, Threads, and on X. I actually got on Threads not too long ago, and I'm like, you know what? This needs to be used often for me personally, because I actually found a bunch of stuff that was very informative, and I'm like, compared to X, I'm like, I probably would use Threads. So just follow me on those accounts if y'all want to, but definitely follow my TikTok at Lilers on TikTok. I am so close to approaching that 420th follower. I'm at 419 right now. So I'm like, I don't know if you want to do the honors and be my 420th follower, because that will be one of my greatest achievements. Unless if for some reason nobody wants to follow me until freaking April 20th on the actual 420 day, and that's gonna be even weirder but funny at the same time. I actually posted a video not too long ago where I got to basically record and show off my new shoes that I got. So for those that do not know, I'm a big Ghost fan. And they actually collaborated with Lugs, and I finally received my two pairs of shoes. I didn't get the other pair because they didn't have my size. But if you guys definitely want to go check out that video of me showing off my new Ghost slash Lugs shoes, which I am so excited to be wearing. I'm actually going to be wearing them today because I got to go run some errands after this episode. But definitely follow me on TikTok. And now that we're on the topic of TikTok, I know we have so much to cover today. Literally, it's just Marvel news and God knows what else. It's mostly Marvel and eventually wrestling. I want to touch base on TikTok. So, for those that do not know, I actually hang out with my nieces a lot. And one of them in particular, she's a Gen Alpha. And once you hear Gen Alpha, you're like, wait a second. So Gen Alpha is the new generation of Gen Zs. Obviously, we're already known to like having I guess the silent generation. I don't even know if that's the actual terminology. But after that, we have the baby boomers, then the millennials, and then Gen Z. And now we have Gen Alpha. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because it's on my TikTok feed, thanks to her. So shout out to my niece Lindsay if she's listening. But I asked her because apparently I became aware of this thing on YouTube called Skibidi Toilet. And I was like, what in the hell are these kids watching now? It's like, if you thought, because me, you know me, I'm like in between of millennials and Gen Z. Some people will classify me as millennials, but then other people classify me as Gen Z. So I'm in between. However, it's like, you know me, I would try my best to understand both languages, but now when you listen or watch of what these Gen Alpha people are looking into, you officially do not know what you think you already know. Gen Alpha is a whole different thing. And I told my niece about like this thing called Skibidi Toilet. I'm like, for some reason it just popped up on my YouTube. And I asked her, I'm like, are you familiar with this? And she's like, oh my God. And she literally sends me, or she shows me this video of this dog who does a lot of, I guess, memes for the Gen Alpha demographic. And one of them in particular is the song that just, I don't even know how to explain it, but I find it hilarious because I kind of heard some of the words that were mentioned in this video, and you're just probably like, for those that have never been aware of this kind of language, you're probably like, what is going on? What is this person talking about? And I'll tell you exactly what this is. So this video is actually on TikTok by the account of Mr. Maynor, for those that do not know. And my niece shows me the video, and it's basically saying, sticking out your gap for the Rizzler. You're so skibbity. You're so Phantom Text. I just want to be your Sigma. And that's pretty much the video. And I'm just like, a lot was exposed to my brain, to my knowledge. And for some reason, I'm like, what? And my niece would tell me I sing this song literally 24/7. And after she showed me that song, she just kept singing it on repeat. And my other niece, who she's 15, going on 16 later on the next coming year, she's telling me, why did you even mention that to her? Now she won't shut up. And I'm just like, I didn't even know this was a thing. So obviously we already heard of the terminology God. And I'm like, I'm giving you guys some Gen Alpha education so that way you are aware in case if either you have kids or you have, like me, nieces. I can't have kids, so there's that. But I have nieces that are in that generation and you're trying your best to understand them. I got you kind of covered. So obviously, we have been saying, and this is not just Gen Alpha, but also Gen Z, we kind of say the word gat a lot when somebody has a really big ass. I kind of say that, but not as much because, again, I don't like me. I'm trying to lean more to millennials than Gen Z, but then again, I'm like, I don't know. So if you guys ever hear me say the word God, is because I'm checking out somebody's ass, and it has to be like, wow, it's mostly referred to just anybody at this point. So, but it's like, forget dang from Fridays, it's now gat. So that's that's one. Now, the next terminology, obviously, we got the Rizzler. Obviously, everybody uses it when somebody has a great pickup line. It's like, this guy has so much Riz. Like, oh, if you hit me with that Riz, me personally, I will probably fall head over heels for you. This is the part where I would say, I want to be your Sigma afterwards. But anywho, I'm like, I sound so strange just saying stuff like this, but you know what? That's the thing they say nowadays. I think this is something I will hear a lot, especially for Valentine's Day. What is your best Riz that you got? Let me know in the comments, or I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have this on the podcast underneath the questions, like, what is your favorite Riz line or something like that. Your greatest pickup line. I remember I used to have this one pickup line with somebody, and it's so hilarious because I used the terminology for Sour Patch Kids because this person was very he was very, very, sour, and I will be the sweet one. And I'm like, just call us the Sour Patch Kids, I don't know if that's even a thing for me to say as a pickup line, but if you were the very grumpy, disgruntled, or just, fuck the world kind of attitude, you will be the sour version of the Sour Patch, and I'll be the sweet one. I will make sure everything's all happy-go-lucky, have a good day, kind of stuff like that. But there's days where I can become a Sour Patch myself with both personalities in there. But anywho, moving along, there is the Skibidi. Obviously, when I mentioned the Skibidi toilet, again, if you guys do not know, definitely go look that up on YouTube. It's a series that a lot of kids are into nowadays, and I watched, I don't know how many episodes there are. They're very small, maybe 2-minute clips of this war between a face shape stuck in a toilet going up against camera people. It was just basically, let's just say devices, because there's cameras, there's phones, there's television, there's stereo, all of that. And it's like a war, a non-ending war. Forget One Piece. I think Skibidi Toilet is gonna go on beyond One Piece, the anime, if you guys do not know what that is. But anywho, this person was like, or the video says, you're so Skibidi, and then the next part is, you're so Phantom Tax. For the purpose of this episode, I will not explain what Phantom Tax means. Definitely go look it up on Urban Dictionary. I will tell you that right now, because that's what I did. And I was surprised to learn the definition of Phantom Tax. And I'm over here like, these kids are under 12 and they say things like this and they refer it to this. I'm like, what in the... I feel like kids nowadays, they have so much exposure, and I don't know who to blame. There's so many people to blame. One of the biggest one is the internet, because we all have access to it, and everybody has so much access that, knowledge, there's no limit to knowledge at this point. Kids almost know everything. And I mean, I'm like, I kind of dodge a bullet on having a kid around that age or that time frame. Because I know right now, if you have a kid by now, it's going to be a whole different generation now, which we don't even understand yet. But Gen Alpha right now, it's It's like, if you don't understand Gen Alpha, imagine the next generation, and then the next and the next. I mean, at this point, well, millennials are going to be the next silent generation. Forget the baby boomers. We're going to go straight to the silent generation. Oh my God. But anywho, if you do not know what phantom tax is, go look it up. You're going to be shocked as me. But then the next terminology that I heard was Sigma. Sigma is above anything else. Forget babe before anyone else. Babe is so overrated at this point. Who fucking calls each other babes nowadays? Just call each other Sigma at this point. What's up, Sigma? Oh, nothing, Sigma. How about you? Anywho. I'm fucking done. All right. But my niece showed me this and I wanted to talk about it really quick because now it's starting to pop up on my For You page. And I'm like, what in the hell did you feed my For You page? Because now my TikTok is filled with Gen Alpha shit. And I'm trying my best to like go back to my regular feed. Like, give me Pedro Pascal. Give me Ghost. Give me... It's coming back. It's slowly coming back. I'll still get hints of Gen Alpha shit coming up on my For You page. Which is okay, but still. Anywho, and even then, I know the Barbie movie, came out a while ago. I reviewed Barbenheimer. If you guys have not checked it out, definitely go do so. But the reason why I mentioned this is now the word Kenough is a part of Gen Alpha language. And forget Gen Z. Gen Alpha took that. They took that name and they said, you know what, I'm just Kenough. And my niece sends me another video and I don't even know how to explain it. I feel like if I put it on here, like on the podcast itself, you're gonna be like, what? But I'll play a clip. How about this?
Huh? Kenough? Kenough? Like the Barbie movie?
Do you think we're Kenough?
Like Kenough? What is that?
You gotta keep up with the times.
The slang.
Like Riz.
Do you have Riz? You tell me.
Do you stick out your gyat for the Rizzler? Are you...
Okay, I'm done. I'm not putting that whole thing over there, but I'm just like, oh my God. Kenough is now a part of the Gen Alpha language. You've been warned. And I mean, we love the Barbie movie. Hell, we love that song, the I'm Just Ken song, but I'm over here like, what the hell? It's one thing when adults like us, I can't believe I'm actually considering myself an adult, but I am an adult. Oh my God. But it's cringe to see ourselves. I can't believe I even said that too. But yes, it is kind of cringe when adults like us talk Gen Alpha language. And I feel like even Gen Zs should steer clear from that language. Because I'm like, now you're just trying so hard. Why are you got to be a tryhard at this point? But anywho, I feel like we might need to steer clear from that because I understand it. There's times where, my brother and my sister-in-law ask me because my nieces will have their own language. And part of it is like Gen Alpha and mixed with Gen Z. Because I think my other niece, the one that's 15, she's technically Gen Z, but I don't know. But they'll be having their own conversations and my brother and my sister-in-law will look at me like, do you even understand what they're saying? And I'm just like, I kind of do. And it's scary. And it's just, you gotta be patient with these people and don't judge them like, oh my God, like speak normal. No, let them speak however they want. You just gotta understand what they're saying. But try not to talk back with that same language or something. I don't know how I do it. I'm gonna ask my nieces one day. It's like, how do you guys not be cringe whenever I talk to you guys like that? It's weird. But anywho, that is something I wanted to touch base on. So now you guys know what Gen Alpha terminology is. And speaking of which, what is on my TikTok feed, you might be asking? I have a lot on TikTok that part of it does consist of the stuff that's happening with pop culture and whatnot. I think one of the trends that's happening on TikTok is AI generated photos. We already had AI generated audios, music, and all of that, which I already talked about in my last episode. Especially with WWE, when they were having like a, fake conference call, but we get the voice of Triple H and Seth Rollins and all of them on this conference call. So I'm just like, we have that. But these images that are coming onto my For You page is more interesting. And I thought, maybe let's go ahead and talk about it. I don't know if you guys have seen some of them. But for me, because I like Star Wars, I like, You know, I like a bunch of stuff. I'm a fan of everything, literally. I've been getting like this collaboration of Star Wars and Christmas AI images, and they look pretty fun. I love them. It's like they're living life. It's like, forget what we've seen in the movies. It's like, imagine if they were here in real life, what would they be doing? Celebrating Christmas, but they're also shooting a music video, you know? It's pretty good the way how they have like Darth Vader with some gold chains, or a stormtrooper with Santa hat and God knows what. But it looks like they're taking a selfie, and it looks pretty cool, you know? And then there's some other images, like for example, Anakin Skywalker, you know, being alive but having fun. Luke and Leia, older and still enjoying Christmas. And it's some of these images that I really love. I hope you guys had a chance to see them if it ever popped up on TikTok for y'all. Or sometimes they put TikTok videos like on Instagram or even on YouTube. I've been seeing that too. Another thing that I really love that is AI generated, and I think this one by far is my favorite, is Deadpool and John Wick exploring the back rooms. If you do not know what the Backrooms game is, it's like, if you have anxiety, I would not play that game. I have anxiety. But I'm like, if you have it, don't play it, because it's just endless and infinite rooms that take you nowhere, and you start, you know, it's like a little mental psychology game. But eventually, the further out you more explore, the further you start encountering things that are kind of creepy and disturbing, just saying. But anywho, with these images that you know, this AI generated, is pretty funny because it's Deadpool and John Wick. We see John Wick that, you know, he can kill anything, and Deadpool is just basically in the back of John Wick, basically like saying, okay, you protect me, sugar bear, kind of like that. And then there's some parts where, you know, they're over there trying to defeat like the creatures in the back rooms. One of my favorite ones was where John Wick is literally shirtless. My boy Keanu Reeves, with the abs and everything. He's shirtless and Deadpool is on his arms. Like, wow. I could never have asked for a better picture than that. It's actually like, I know I don't play games, but I'm like, I need to make this picture as my profile picture on something. Not on TikTok, not on Instagram, wherever I have my social media accounts. I'm like, no, I'm just going to put it on Xbox. And I don't even play games right now, but it's my Xbox profile picture. If you guys want to check out the video on TikTok, it's by this account called MC.Baldi, and it's spelled BALDIEE. That is the username on TikTok that has the Deadpool and John Wick explore the back rooms. I definitely love it. Oh, and then Master of Puppets by Metallica is playing in the background, so it gives that brutal, very brutal theme that I really, really enjoy. So there's that. But another, and I'm moving along. We also have another little AI generated pictures that I've seen, and one of them has to be with Game of Thrones. I love Game of Thrones, and they actually reimagine these characters in Pixar themes, and it gives an innocent vibe in it. And then I'm just like, if only it was like that, but it's not. Like, this show is so fucked up, but yet it's so good and entertaining. My what is it? My Latin lover Pedro Pascal is in there, even though Latin lover is Eugenio Derbez, if you guys have not seen that movie. But my TikTok feed is just filled with AI stuff, and I think that's why it's trying to reset of my interests and trying to steer clear from Gen Alpha shit. So there's that. But anywho, let's go ahead and dig into the pop culture news that I have for you guys. I have a lot of Marvel news, and I don't even know where to start. I know I mentioned on the last episode that they're probably trying to reset the whole Avengers game plan that they're trying to do for the next few movies, where we know that we're gonna get Avengers Secret Wars, and then we're gonna have the Kang Dynasty, and I think I forgot what the other one was. But basically the Kang Dynasty gets split into two, kind of like what they did with Infinity War and Endgame. It's a big ass movie split into two. So we're trying to figure out what they're gonna do, because basically with everything that's been happening with the actor Jonathan Majors, They're probably trying to change Kang instead of recasting him. And they're probably trying to see if Kang can match up to the same evil as Thanos did. But we already know that's not possible. And so recently in the news, it was announced that the director, Dustin Daniel, steps down from directing the Avengers Kang Dynasty. So what could this mean for the MCU? And now everybody's trying to figure out, maybe we should just get Doctor Doom to be the next villain. But I'm just like, I mean, we've seen in Fantastic Four, like and I'm just like, but a lot of people have really good theories of why Doctor Doom should be the next villain. However, is it prolonging to, again, a 2-part movie? I think it has been confirmed, though, that we might have Doctor Doom for Secret Wars. That's the possibility. And for those that do not know, somebody else also did say the biggest theory of them all was that Doctor Doom is actually teased on Loki either season 1 or 2 and could potentially be that next villain for Secret Wars. So and it does say it's one of the scenes where Mobius is interrogating Loki, and they're talking about a villain close to the Black Sea, and that's where you're starting to make the little, like, you're connecting the dots and try to figure out like all of that. So for me personally, I'm like, how I mentioned it before on my last episode, I'm like, I don't think Marvel can get back at its peak like it did after Avengers. Everybody loses the peak point at one point. And so for this part, I'm like, it's not going to be the same, but at the same time, it's more like, because everything's getting so divided on both Disney Plus and the movie theaters, a lot of people cannot afford Disney Plus with those increasing prices. So it's like a lot of people are missing out on this story. And it's like, no, we don't have time to watch all of these series on Disney Plus when we can all just watch it in movie theaters, like how it was in the past 10 years, before Disney Plus was invented. And I feel like, yeah, I don't think any villain can own up to Thanos, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, it's not the same anymore. The actors are different. Some people retire from the MCU, but yet they're still trying to bring them back. Who knows what will happen? I mean, now that this director decided to step down, if they do continue the project, I would say Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, it's gonna flop. It's going to flop at the end of the day. And Marvel's is just going to regret wasting so much money on, trying to make this project happen. Maybe they just probably need to sit down and just be like, okay, pause everything. It's going to suck. I'm going to hate it. But it's like, pause everything. Let's see what we can do to make another great movie. And part of it, my personal opinion, part of it does need to involve the X-Men. We need the X-Men in this, and I cannot wait. But anywho, Another Marvel news that was announced was, what if season 2 is released? They released a trailer, and I'm just like, we're getting a season 2 for What If. I mean, yeah, the first season was very interesting, and again, not a lot of people watch it because they're probably either not fans of animated shows or they do not have Disney Plus. So this is something, I mean, you could watch it and then you'll try to connect the dots and see if they're going to take some of the storyline from this to the future movies of the MCU. Now, after watching the trailer, I didn't get as much hype as I did on the first season. But then again, somebody did leak the episode titles, and that gives me a more understanding of what this show is going to consist of. And I think they did say that they're going to be releasing daily episodes the moment it does get released. Skip the next minute or so while I announce the episode titles. If you guys do not want to know what the titles are, definitely skip the next minute. But these are what the titles are. So, number 1 is going to be, what if Nebula joined the Nova Corps? Number 2 is, what if Peter Quill attacked Earth's mightiest hero? Now, that's going to be interesting, trying to see if he can singly hand down the Avengers. The third one is Happy Hogan Saved Christmas. What if Happy Hogan saved Christmas? I don't know about that one, but I'm pretty sure it's a Christmas episode, probably. The fourth one is What if Iron Man crashed into the Grandmaster? Interesting. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like that Thor and Loki episode where they're all just partying hard. That's my theory, but we will see. The fifth one is What if Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper? Interesting. And then after that is the What if the Avengers assembled in 1602? I think it's pretty random if you ask me for that episode. I think they just ran out of ideas and just said, you know what, fuck it, let's just say this one, you know. And then after that is What if Hela found the 10 rings? Now this one might be interesting since we already know about the story of Shang-Chi. If you guys have not seen it, definitely go check out Shang-Chi. I think that was a pretty great movie. And then the next one was What if Kahari, I think that's how you pronounce it. What if Kahari reshaped the world? Interesting. And then the last one is What if Strange Supreme intervened? This one, I have a feeling it might be linked to the first season, maybe. We know who Strange Supreme is, and I'm over here like, after seeing Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, I don't even know if this is the same Strange Supreme. This is confusing times, ladies and gentlemen, where we don't even understand if there's variants of all of these people. What if there is a variant of Strange Supreme? What if there's a variant for so many other people? And it's like, wait a second, what's going on? So yeah, those are the episodes that are going to be released for What If season 2. And I'm just like, either way, yeah, I'm going to watch them because I have nothing else to watch. I literally just finished watching Gen V and I'm just like, whoa, I'm ready for The Boys season 4. I'm ready. I want to watch it already. But anywho, so yeah, I'm like, if this comes out, I'm probably going to watch it, trying to see what else to watch after that. But for me personally speaking, I'm over here like, this season 2 could have been so much better if we get Marvel Zombies already. I need Marvel Zombies. After we got it teased on the first season, it's like everybody's been wanting it. They said they were going to do it, but I'm just like, when? I need it now. I don't care if it's animated. I don't care if it's real live action. Actually, I do. If it was real live action, that movie would have been rated R and it could have been one of the greatest horror movies ever created. So I would say that. But anywho, honestly, I'm just saying, Marvel, hit me up. But anywho, season 2 is gonna come out soon on Disney Plus. I think it's gonna be later this November. I think right after Thanksgiving. But still, I'm excited just to see another Marvel show. So we'll see now that Loki's already over. A lot of people are still traumatized after the last episode where the season finale of Loki season 2, and everybody's like, it's been a week, and I'm like, yeah, a week goes by really fast. We're already approaching Thanksgiving and it's like, bro, the year's about to be over and I'm not ready to be another year older, just saying. But anywho, aside from What If, another Marvel news, and that one actually blew up my phone because it is rumored or confirmed that Pedro Pascal is going to play Reed Richards in the new Fantastic Four movie. And I'm over here like, hold up, what happened to John Krasinski? Hold up. And I just talked about Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. A lot of people before, this was like during the pandemic, when there was rumored that, you know, we're going to get a new Fantastic Four movie, live action. Again, another reboot of the reboot. Good. I don't know how many times we've seen this movie. A lot of people were trying to put their intake of who should play Reed Richards. And everybody agreed that it would have been John Krasinski. And we got John Krasinski in Doctor Strange, or the second Doctor Strange movie. And it was beautiful. I'm a fan of Jim of The Office, but I'm also a fan of John Krasinski as Reed Richards. With that being said, we're getting Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, and now this is going to be a whole different fandom, and I don't know if I'm ready for it, but I'm on board, you know, because this is going to be, I don't know, like, I want to say this is an older version of Reed Richards, But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. There's so many things I could think of. And I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God. Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards is probably one of the smartest choices that the MCU has done, if they have done it. But at the same time, I'm like, can we still get John Krasinski? Because he did a really amazing job, even though we did not like the outcome of what we saw on Doctor Strange. But again, it's the multiverse. Anything can be twisted, and they can get away with it now at this point. But I know for sure, for all the Pedro Pascal stans, not fans, stans, they're definitely gonna watch this movie. And I think a lot of people put their theories on who should be the cast. But at the same time, I'm like, will the story be much better than the first and the second movies? And when I mean by those, I meant the first one with I forgot her name, Jessica Alba, and I forgot the other guy's name. But they were in that movie, and then the Silver Surfer came out. And then we had the really bad reboot that I consider one of the worst movies I have ever seen, ever. Because it was a waste of time, it was a waste of money, and to this day, I don't even want to jump to the reboot of Fantastic Four. Now that this Fantastic Four is going to be a part of the MCU, I'm over here like, okay, I'm pretty sure it's on a different timeline now that they would say it. But will we get Chris Evans back as the Human Torch? Just for once. Give us a little peek of that. I would like to see Chris Evans reprise that role one more time. But anywho, or even better, in that movie, in the new Fantastic Four movie, I'm just saying, it would have been awesome if we see Chris Evans as Human Torch and him as Captain America in that same movie. And then they're going to be like, wait a second. I would love that. Just saying. But let's move it along. But that is all that I have for the Marvel announcements. Or I think I have one more. I actually have one more. We also have we're gonna have another cast member in the Fantastic Four movie, who's gonna be Javier Bardem, who might play Galactus. This is rumored, but they think that instead of Doctor Doom being the villain of this, maybe Galactus should be in it on this movie. For those that do not know, Javier has been in 007 Skyfall, The Little Mermaid, and Dune. So we will see, but it is rumored, not confirmed, just saying. And then another Marvel news, we actually have Stephen Yang is going to be playing Sentry in the new Thunderbolts movie. And I think this was leaked or confirmed, announced. Who knows? But I'm just like, okay, we have a lot of good people coming into the Thunderbolts. Now, this is very, very anticipated, and I cannot wait to see the trailer. Once the trailer comes out, I feel like we're going to be very hyped, unless they decide to ruin the storyline. We will see. Another thing that we also got to see was the new Madam Web trailer. It is out, and this is part of Sony's kind of Spider-Verse. They call it the Sony Spider-Verse version, so this is not part of the MCU. Now, this movie, when the trailer got released, it kind of put some fans question this movie, so it might not do so good. I watched the trailer and I'm just like, I don't even know if I could take Dakota Johnson serious. And it's not because of her role in 50 Shades of Grey. It's more like, I don't know. I'm not getting that much of emotion, if you ask me. And then of course there was a dialogue that a lot of fans were just like forget the movie. They're putting memes of Dakota Johnson, especially her with the whole Ellen interview about the birthday party and God knows what. And her also showing off her home. And the limes, oh my God, the limes. If you guys do not know the lime meme, definitely go check it out on YouTube, where she says she loves limes. But then next thing you know, she also announced that she was allergic to limes. But they inserted that dialogue where the villain apparently was with Cassandra Webbs, who Dakota Johnson is playing. And it's like, oh, he was there before my mother died. Something like that. And everybody just kept inserting that dialogue into these little memes. And I'm over here like, I think this movie's gonna flop. I don't know if it's because if it's Dakota Johnson herself, the way how she acts. I don't know. I love her, which don't get me wrong. I think besides 50 Shades of Grey, she was also El Royale movie. The El Royale movie was pretty funny because she tries to be a badass and she does it so beautifully. But anywho, this movie has a lot of manipulation of time, and I'm over here wondering if any other Spider-Man is gonna show up here. And I'm just like, should we have another Spider-Man here intervene? It would be awesome, but I actually have no hopes. I actually, with this one, because of the anticipation is so low for me, I actually do not expect to see another Spider-Man in here. Unless we get to see Oscar Isaac as Spider-Man 2099. That would be pretty amazing if you ask me. But anywho, yeah, they're basically playing with time on this movie. And I'm just wondering, what's going to happen if they keep on doing it. Now we also know that, besides Dakota Johnson playing Cassandra Webb, or, Madam Webb, we also have Sydney Sweeney, who she was in Euphoria. She's going to be playing Julia Carpenter, who is also known as Spider-Woman. So we actually got to see a glimpse of her in the trailer, and it's pretty cool. At first, I'm over here like, why does she look like Black Cat? But, it's not, or is it? But we also will have Emma Roberts playing as Mary Parker and Adam Scott as Ben Parker. And we actually get to see on the trailer Ben Parker is with Cassandra Webb as a paramedic. So I'm like, this is probably before Peter Parker time. Probably. And then, of course, the villain in the movie is Ezekiel Sims, who is played by Tahar Rahim. Now, if you guys are familiar with the character Ezekiel Sims from the comics, go ahead and forget that because apparently this character is going to be way different than the comics. So they just basically took his name and decided to do something else with it. So that might be a little bit of a risk of the audience hating this movie, because a lot of people like to compare the comics with the movies. Now, if it doesn't match, there is that possibility that they're just gonna hate this movie, give it a bad review, and tell everybody else not to watch it. And I want to say Sony might have fucked up right now just by changing his character. So I don't know how this is gonna happen. If I don't review this movie, then But I am probably gonna watch it just for maybe a little idea of what could happen in this movie, and see if it's gonna intertwine with the other Spider-Man movies, or if it's gonna be linked into something else. We will see. But yeah, Madam Web trailer is out. Definitely go check it out. There is no announcement of when this movie is gonna get released, so now go watch it and try to get your ideas. But I have a feeling it's gonna be in the summertime for sure. Now, for the next movie trailer review, we actually had the announcement that we're also getting a new Garfield movie. And this one is going to be animated compared to the kind of semi-live action one that we had in 2004. Now, me, obviously, my sister loved Garfield. She will watch that movie nonstop, so I've been exposed to Garfield. So I got to talk about it. Now, this trailer is, like I mentioned, it is animated, but it's gonna be different. It started off sad. I don't know why it had to start off sad. I'm over here about to start crying, and I haven't even watched the movie, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go cry if I do watch it. Chris Pratt voices Garfield, and I'm over here wondering, can he match the same energy that we got when Bill Murray played Garfield in the 2004 movie? They have some comedic dialogue, which is funny. I think this movie is going to be good for the kids. I'm a child at heart, so I'm definitely going to go watch it. Now, it is going to be different than the 2004 movie with storyline wise, because I feel like we're going to get a little bit of a background of how Garfield was before he met his owner. So we get to see his dad, like Garfield's dad, and I'm saying this because the trailer is out. I am allowed to talk about this. So, in the trailer, we have a big puffy Garfield cat who is actually voiced by Samuel L. Jackson himself, the legend. And I'm over here like thinking, because there was a clip I saw on TikTok where, he wasn't, they were doing this interview where he wasn't the highest paid actor and he was competing against Harrison Ford. And I'm just like, he's trying to make more money. What is Harrison Ford trying to do right now? But anywho, so Samuel L. Jackson voices Garfield's dad. And so we get to see some stuff, some little fat jokes here and there, like for example where Garfield's dad asked him like, can you jump, and Garfield's like, I never jumped, like, overall he didn't know how to jump. I love it. And we also get to see Garfield as the hungry loving cat that we've seen and adore, especially with him and his lasagna. Now, I'm over here wondering if it's gonna be good. It probably is. It is gonna come out later on. And I want to say, yeah, for the kids, it's going to be probably worth watching. So if you guys have not done so, go check out the Garfield trailer. Again, prepare the Kleenex if you're very emotional like I did, because it kind of starts off pretty sad and then funny afterwards. But anywho, so the Game Awards have announced their nominees for all of the various categories that they have, including Game of the Year nominations. One of them, I think they have so many, like with esports, we have Best Esports Event, Coach, Theme, Athlete, and Games. We also have Content Creator of the Year, and of course the people that range on this category go from Iron Mouse, People Make Games, Quackity, and 2 more other people that are in here. Now, I think the most important one obviously was Game of the Year. And so it's like this category was a little bit more like it's spread out. It's not just like, oh, Xbox, PlayStation. No, they go across. So the nominees for the Game of the Year, it goes from Alan Wake 2. I have never heard of this game, so I don't even know if this one has a possibility of winning. Now the other one, it's a little bit more it's not like it's disturbing, but it's more like, I can't believe people are gonna vote for this game. The second game that's also been nominated was Baldur's Gate 3. Now, if you guys do not know, this game has that one scene where you can have sex with animals. And I'm like, I feel like all the furries are going to be voting for this game. Just saying. But the diehard fans, the very good gamers, are probably going to vote for the next game, which is Marvel's Spider-Man 2. This one was very anticipated. This one was like, everybody's a fan of Spider-Man. I think everybody. Like PlayStation probably got the win for this one, maybe. But this one was a favorite from the category. We also have Resident Evil 4 nominated. Now, this one's a maybe. For Nintendo fans, we have Super Mario Brothers Wonder. For those that do not know, it's the game where we get the musical and God knows what. We also, I think my favorite one is that we got the Piranha Plant song, which is pretty funny. Now, the other one, and lastly, it's going to be Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That one's a little bit, yeah, it's going to be tricky. You're going to be fighting with Spider-Man and Legend of Zelda. It's going to be a tough call. But you can vote for these categories. I don't know if you have to sign up to cast your vote. But there are so many categories. Of course, we have Game of the Year. We have Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Score and Music, Best Audio Design, Best Performance, Innovation and Accessibility, Games for Impact, Best Ongoing, Best Community Support, Best Independent Game. Now, that one's going to be a challenge one because we have a lot. Best Debut Indie Game, Best Mobile Game, Best VR and AR Games, Best Action Games, Best Action and Adventure, Best RPG. Oh my god, let me look at the category. RPG, of course, we have Baldur's Gate 3. Ugh. Final Fantasy is in here. Life of P, Sea of Stars, and Starfield is in this category for Best RPG. We have Best Fighting, Best Family, Best Sim Strategy Game, Best Sports and Racing, Best Multiplayer. I think everybody wants to know the nominees for this one. The nominees for best multiplayer game is Baldur's Gate 3. This game had a lot of fucking nominees, and again, it's because of the damn furries. Diablo 6 is in here. No, Diablo 4. I think this is it. I don't know how to read Roman numerals. That's how you know I'm Gen Z now. We have Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder are all in multiplayer. I'm surprised Call of Duty is not in here. Hold up. But anywho, best adaptation is here. Most anticipated game category. Now this one had a lot. Like Final Fantasy Rebirth is in here. Hades 2, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaw, and Tekken 8. Ooh, that's a tough one. I had to vote. If I had to vote personally, I might vote for Star Wars only because I like Tekken, but not so much. Final Fantasy, that's another one. That's a tricky one. And then let's see, and I think and I mentioned Content Creator of the Year and all of the best esport games on here. But yeah, those are the 2023 nominees of the Game Awards. So I'm not sure if they're gonna do like a live stream or they're gonna do like a little show to announce it. I miss it whenever it was like, on TV where they announced these games and whatnot. But a lot of good games that were nominated for Game of the Year. However, if I had to pick, that's a tricky one. Only because I would probably pick either the Nintendo or Spider-Man 2. But I probably would, if I had to pick, it would have to be Spider-Man 2. Even though, again, I don't play games anymore. But if I would play it, I would play Spider-Man because it looks very interesting that you can escape from reality for a span of 8 hours before you realize, oh my God, I just wasted my day on a game. It will be that game for sure. But yeah, you guys can vote for the Game Awards. I believe the link, or you can actually look it up on Google. That's probably the most easiest things. But the link is thegameawards.com, and you can actually cast your votes to see which one is your favorite. If I swear to God, if probably one category from that Baldur's Quest game wins, I will be so sad. Only because, again, I feel like that game is just for furries, but there's other people with other fetishes. But anywho, let's go ahead and move it along. Now, in a more sad note, we also had I guess we finally got to see the posting on Instagram where all the rest of the Friends cast finally paid tribute to Matthew Perry. Of course, Matthew Perry is now buried and resting as we speak, and it was sad because we actually got to see Matt LeBlanc was the first one to post, and his post was very, very sad. Obviously, I think people weren't ready to see everybody else's. I think the last person to finally post was Jennifer Aniston, who played Rachel Green, and it's kind of, it's sad that we were waiting for them to post on social media, and now that they did, everybody's talking about it. But you guys definitely go check out those posts. I'm not gonna read those individually, but it puts a tear to your eye. And obviously, you know me, I've been watching Friends since God knows how long, on repeat, just because of Cosmo. Obviously, you do not hear her in the background because she is in my room sleeping while watching Friends in the background. If that TV is off, she will cry like there's no tomorrow. But one day if I ever do go to Hollywood, I'm definitely gonna go visit Matthew Perry's grave and pay my respects. And hopefully with Cosmo, because I want to take her and be like, he's there. Even though you can't see him, but he's there. He inspired you. So pay your respects. Go. But anywho, yeah. It's out there on social media, and I think it was even on my TikTok feed where people would just post of the little messages that they put on Instagram, and everybody's like, why are you crying? And you would see the slide of the posts and the videos that they posted with. There's a lot of good memories, and it's like, wow. They lived a good life. Even though Matthew Perry was struggling, he when he had the good days, he really had them good. So rest in peace, Matthew Perry. Now, I know I mentioned TikTok so many times, but this one's really funny for me. I learned Jason Momoa joined TikTok. I had to instantly follow him. It was an instant follow for me. And he was just basically posting like behind the scenes of him on SNL and him with his little trident thingy from Aquaman. I loved it because he gives that energy on TikTok, more comedic and whatnot. And for me, I'm over here like, I can't wait to see him on SNL. This is going to be his second time hosting. We have a lot of people coming back to host. Like, we had Pedro Pascal not too long ago. Yeah, no, I don't know. We had Timothy Chalamet like literally last week. Today is gonna be Jason Momoa. So the last time he hosted SNL was in, oh my god, I want to say like in 2018. I want to say, but I might be wrong. It was either 2018, 2019. And it was probably like he had so many hilarious skits. I think one of my favorite one was the men appliance. I forgot what they were calling it, but like, you know, you had a drill for a vacuum and then like a very heavy duty washing machine, you know. Everything's like manly. I think that was one of my favorite skits. If they bring it back, that'd be great. Just like how they did with Pedro Pascal was with Bad Bunny. They brought Pedro Pascal back to do the reincarnate of like the mom and the Mexican mom kind of, you know, image that people have. Or like Timothy Chalamet, he did a skit with Pete Davidson, which I'm kind of sad that they didn't freaking put them two together. I would have loved to see them go the Yee Yee Skirt, you know, song. But instead they just give Timothy Chalamet that little same character again. But now he's over there doing a whole different rap, which is not, it's not hitting for me like it did with Pete Davidson. But anywho, they're starting to bring these back, and I'm just like, I mean, it's funny. If it hits, it hits. Sure, why not? But I cannot wait to see Jason Momoa on SNL, and I'm probably gonna talk about this on the next episode of what were my thoughts. So definitely go check out SNL with Jason Momoa tonight. I cannot wait. Another breaking news. This one was, I had to save the best for last in a way before I dive into WWE again. But I learned that Snoop Dogg is now quitting smoking, and it's the end of an era. Now, at first when I read about it, I don't know why I should stop like assuming shit, but I started laughing when I saw the post. And when I saw it, I'm like, wait, he's dead ass serious. So he posted a post with a quote, you know, after much consideration and conversation with my family, I decided to give up smoke. Please respect my privacy at this time. I actually posted this, reposted the little quote that he did on my Instagram, which is why you should follow me. But I put respect the legend's privacy, you know. But while I was reading it in my head, I'm like, is he joking? But I'm like, it's not April Fool's. But at the same time, the way how it's worded, it's like, I'm trying to find the subliminal message on this. I don't know why. This is the one thing I hate about myself. I usually give a bunch of subliminal messages, but the subliminal messages is like, is he giving up smoke for real, or he's giving up the smoke as in, because there's a phrase that people say when, you know, you want the smoke, stuff like that. I'm like, is he giving up that kind of rhetorical version of the word smoke? But say what you will, if he says to respect his privacy, respect his privacy. I still don't know if this is real. I did ask one of my friends in Alabama, shout out if he's listening, but I was like, hey, did you hear that, you know, he's giving up smoke? And he was like, yeah, but there's a reason why it might be true, because apparently, for those that do not know, there's probably traces of fentanyl in, you know, whether if it's cannabis or whatever the deal is. So there's a possibility that maybe Snoop Dogg is actually quitting smoking to avoid that, you know, and he's probably taking care of himself. So I don't know what the whole deal is, but it must be hard, because when you hear Snoop Dogg, you will think of cannabis or just anything else in general. And so it's like, it's in his lifestyle to always do it, whether if he's doing it for show or if he's doing it because he enjoys it. And for you to quit something that you enjoyed so much, it's hard, you know. And I'm like me, I'm not a smoker. I don't do drugs or anything, but I can understand why people don't quit it. because you're so used to it. It's addicting and whatnot. So for me, I'm like, I get it. So for sure, definitely, if Snoop ever does come out and say, okay, I'm back, whatever, definitely, say we respect you, congratulations on taking the big step, this and that. And, just keep pushing him, because it's really hard to say that you're quitting and, you end up not quitting. So there's that. But anywho, let's go ahead and move it along with WWE. I only have news for WWE. Full Gear is tonight. Oh my God. Full Gear is tonight. War Games is next week. So it's like we have a lot to talk about eventually. So I'm like, I'm putting AEW aside until I find out what are the results. Because I'm not paying for pay-per-view. That's too much. That's too expensive. I pay for other shit. But anywho, in WWE, remember how I mentioned last episode the possibility of, maybe having CM Punk or Randy Orton come back for War Games? And I'm like, the only way this could happen is if they add another member in the Judgment Day's team. And that was, again, it was speculated that it might be Drew McIntyre. Well, this past Monday on Monday Night Raw, we actually got the confirmation that Drew McIntyre joined the Judgment Day. He accepted Rhea Ripley's offer, and now we're trying to wonder what the fuck is going to happen at War Games. Will he definitely join? And if he does join, well, guess what? Now we're going to start speculating what's going to happen for the fifth member of this, of this match. So me, I'm just over here like, I swear to God, if it's CM Punk, I don't know what's going to happen. People are going to lose their shit. Or is it going to be momentarily like how they did with AEW where he comes back, but then after that, he snaps. And WWE is probably either going to favor him or they're just not going to have it. Who knows? But that's CM Punk. Now, again, the other person is, point of interest or something. The person of interest is Randy Orton. And I'm over here like, what could they do with Randy Orton after War Games? Because from my understanding, we haven't seen him in... This is like Matt Riddle times. And now Matt Riddle's not here. There's nothing for them to do now with Randy Orton. So we will see. I cannot wait for next week. I wonder what I'm going to be doing. But definitely, I'll keep you guys updated. And then another thing I also learned, this was like away from WWE, but it's also going to link back, is Becky Lynch. Apparently she showed up into an episode of Jeopardy and she became the first player to get 0 correct answers out of 60 clues. And I'm like, was she trying to make history with that? I don't even know. But I just wanted to point that out. I don't know what she's thinking, what she's going through. But yesterday on Friday Night SmackDown, obviously they were trying to do a women's War Games match, but this storyline was so bad the way how they did it, and it just basically came out of nowhere. Forget Randy Orton, this came out of nowhere. And it's basically between Damage Control versus Bianca Belair, Shotzi, and Charlotte. And now they're trying to find a new member for them to join into the match and go up against this faction, however they want to call it. But the way how the faction of Damage Control was created is kind of sad, because now they have Dakota Kai on the sidelines. I don't know if she's even injured or not, but she's just there. She's just a bystander. And now Damage Control consists of Bayley, Io Sky, which we already knew, but now we have Asuka and Kairi Sane. It's basically a Japanese trio and Bayley. And so I didn't like how it was just basically, it came like this, Kairi Sane, as we know, she came back on Crown Jewel, and not a lot of people got hype back from her. And the storyline could have been so much different if it was, Damage Control, and then it would be Bianca. I don't know about Asuka, but for sure Kairi Sane, because from what we know, the last time we got to see Kairi Sane, she got beat up by Bayley and, Damage Control. So it's like, how do you come back and then say, oh, I forgive you, I'm like, I would love to see, again, Io Sky and Kairi Sane have history, like, going up against each other. And then Asuka, too. It's like, it's a great way to go up against each other and still make a perfect storyline. But they decided to ruin it by doing this. you know? And so now we're getting this War Games match, and obviously we're looking for a fourth member. I thought it was going to be 5 against 5, but no, it's 4 against 4. And yesterday, Charlotte, like, they were asking Charlotte to make a phone call to bring somebody in. And as she make the phone call, we're trying to figure out who could that be. Obviously, it was either, you know, I don't think it's gonna be Sasha. I don't think Sasha's gonna come back. If anything, she'll come back to AEW because they kind of have that whole thing going on with New Japan. But I'm like, if it ain't her, it's gonna be Becky Lynch. But I'm like, we'll see. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. She ends up joining, you know, the team, and now it's gonna be War Games 4 against 4. Damage Control versus Bianca Belair, Charlotte, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch. So it's like, you know, like, is this match gonna be hype? No. Compared to what it's been with the Judgment Day, this match is not gonna be so fun to watch. But I loved it because in the morning, I think she posted it yesterday, but I barely watched it first thing today. Becky Lynch posted a video on TikTok now that she has TikTok. And it shows us what supposedly that conversation went between her and Charlotte. For those that do not know, Becky and Charlotte are like BFFs back then. I don't know what happened. There was some beef going on between them two on an episode on SmackDown. I forgot what it was. I think it was supposed to be something that Charlotte was supposed to do, but she didn't do it. And then Becky got pissed, you know, whatever the deal was. And they were basically in non-talking terms. We're talking like these were BFFs gone wrong because when Becky got married, Charlotte wasn't invited to the wedding. When Charlotte got married, Becky wasn't invited to the wedding either. So it's like, what the hell happened? And, you know, now that she posted this video, it was more comedic and it was funny, you know, because again, we see Becky typing on a computer, which I don't know if she's trying to make another book, which she's already releasing her autobiography. But she's over there typing and she sees her phone turn on and it says Charlotte. And you know, typical Aquarius. What we do, and when I say we, me and Becky are both January babies, but we're both Aquarius. So when we look at the phone, you know, if we see somebody we don't like, we freak out and it's like, you know, turn it off. And it's like, ignore the call. And so I'm like, that's me right there. But and then next thing you know, she has another phone that's behind her blowing up too, and it's still Charlotte. And then she's like, no, like picks up, says no, hangs up, you know, what do you call it? Like, what do you want? No, hangs up. Didn't even hear what Charlotte had to say. And then it rings again. And then she's like, I said no. And then, you know, I guess Charlotte's over there telling them what's happening. And she's like, you know, like she's just grunting. Like, you know, hearing the offer. And she's like, you know what? When work calls, work calls. And then it shifts back to Becky and SmackDown. And it's like, let's go do this, you know. And she's already in her outfit, however you want to say, ready to get into a fight. So I'm just like, I love Becky. I'm like, it's like Aquarius energy. I love it. But yeah, she posted that and we loved it. And I just loved seeing the comments in the you know, in the video. Everybody was saying Charlotte is back. Charlotte is back. You know, it's like, oh, you're our besties again. We missed it. We really did. I loved it. You know, I missed those videos where they made you know, little fun skits. Like, remember when WWE had the mixed tag matches? And I want to say it was Robert Roode or Bobby Roode, whoever. He was teaming up against between Becky or Charlotte. And they were fighting for him. And it was hilarious. And I think it was Charlotte saying, I want the Bob or something like that. It's fun like that, you know. And then obviously their little thing that they say, tea time, you know. Where it's like spill the tea or something, but it's a little it's like this duo that they like to refer each other, something Louise. I forgot what the other person's name, but it was something in Louise, and that's what they will call each other, you know. And I'm like, I miss that friendship, and I'm pretty sure, you know, maybe they did squash the beef a while ago because this beef happened like before 2020. I want to say it happened in 2019, right before the pandemic. And, you know, I remember when Becky announced that she was pregnant, you know, I was like, oh my God, Auntie Charlotte, you know, stuff like that. But I want to say, yeah, they probably did squash that beef, and I love to see more of Charlotte and Becky. If anything, if you want to make them tag teams, champions, whatever, I would support it. There will be an undefeated duo, if you ask me. But that tag team champions are probably a curse to the freaking company at this point. They should just go ahead and get rid of it. I mean, it was a great idea when fans brought it up, but it was just sad how the creative team decided to flop all the tag teams in the women's division. So it's like, and it's the same way how it is for the men's. It's like there's really great tag teams out there, but right now they're just so focused with having the Judgment Day having all the gold, which is pretty neat because that's what we had with the Bloodline. But if anything, sadly, the Bloodline and the Judgment Day are both villains. You can't have a villain and a villain go up against each other. That's just WWE math at this point. So it's like, if one of them was good, we would love to see which faction would be dominant at that point. But then again, the Bloodline doesn't have a female character. Unless if you want to dress up Paul Heyman, sure, why not? But yeah, like right now, the Judgment Day is the one that is reigning supreme of the faction. And, that's why they have all the gold. Dominic has gold, Rhea has gold. And then Finn and Damian have the tag team gold, along with Damian Priest having that briefcase. That briefcase, by the way, we're slowly approaching to the new Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And Damian at one point will have to cash in, whether if it's at WrestleMania or beforehand. But he's going to have to cash in, and we're keeping an eye on that one because it's been a while. He has tried to attempt to cash in on Seth Rollins multiple times. So it's like we already know which championship he's going after, unfortunately. But yeah, we will see. We're going to see that storyline fall apart because that will be the doom of the Judgment Day the moment Damian Priest decides to successfully cash in and be able to have gold around his waist that is for himself. Like, he can't share that with Finn Balor, and certainly he cannot share it with JD McDonough. Dominic has nothing to worry about because he's just there. I love Dominic, but yeah, he's just there. He ain't worried. He's just like, if mommy's okay, I'm okay, and so we'll see. That is all I have for you guys today. It's pretty much a short episode. There's not much that happened, but it's still enough for me to record an episode and still be consistent. So make sure you guys follow me on social media at It's Lylers on Instagram, Threads, or X, at Lylers on TikTok. So close to 420 followers, guys. Come on, you can do this. But yeah, definitely follow my social media accounts, and I hope on the next episode I have more content. It's like, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm having so much fun with all these sound effects that I have. But yeah, that is all that I have for you guys today, and I will talk to you guys on the next one.